Hey guys, this is John. Welcome back to the garage. We're not in the garage, we're in the car. We're heading out to see Mike. Mike posted on Craigslist a set of rims, some Fiamma 36 hole, so up rims. Exactly what we need for the 78 Colnago. Turns out he's a fan of the channel, and we're gonna go meet Mike and check these things out. Hey guys, I'm here with Mike, and he had placed a set of rims on, was it Facebook Marketplace?
Craigslist.
Craigslist, all right. Yep, Craigslist Chicago, and I got really lucky because I've been looking for these rims for this 78 Colnago. Let's check them out. Actually, they look pretty good. They sit flat. They're actually round, go figure. I don't see any dents or dings on the outside of the rims as well. The eyelets actually look pretty good. I'm going to polish these things up, much to your chagrin. Some of you guys like tarnish. I don't. So we're going to polish them up, and we're going to lace them to these hubs here. So pretty excited to get these done. Well, hey, we have a big thanks to Mike for providing the rims. Thanks so much.
Thank you, John. You're coming by on a rainy day.
Well, hopefully we see you on the road.
I'll be there.
All right, guys. So glad I met Mike. We told some good stories. He has a love of air-cooled Volkswagens like the one in my garage. And I'm excited to get these rims home. We're going to polish them up, get them laced up, and get this build going. Okay, we are in the bicycle man cave. We have spokes, we have rims, we have polished hubs. We're ready to build some wheels, but I got to polish up the rims. As you can see, I'm getting ready for a bike swap in Madison, Wisconsin on January 20th. Got a bunch of good stuff. We also got this little case here of Campagnolo small parts, kind of hard to find items, which are kind of fun. I got all kinds of parts for Tour de France derailleurs. And these bike racks, basically they hang bikes on the wall. They made them out of oak for the garage. I actually don't have a lot more than that. I don't really sell a lot of these things. I'll have a couple frame sets as well. So it should be a good time. So anyways, let's get these rims polished. Now, usually I don't wear gloves, but man, when you do rims, especially just ancient ones, you get all that black crap on your hands. It actually comes off your hands pretty easy, but they don't look bad. A little bit of wear and tear on these things, which is pretty normal. The decal doesn't look awful, at least it's still there. And a little bit of discoloration and or corrosion on the eyelets. Let's get this stuff off. Little Mother's Chrome polish, as you know, it's been my favorite. Yeah, now it looks like dirt. You have to do them twice, maybe 3 times. You have to get all the tarnish off. Yeah, looks pretty good. You know what? They look pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. Let's lace these things up. I learned how to lace wheels at Schwinn's Service School in Elk Grove, Illinois. That's where the warehouse was at the time. 16 years old. And my boss, Wayne, who I'm still friends with, a man I greatly admire, said, hey, how would you like to go to Schwinn's Service School? Now you're talking to a kid who had no opportunity, really no encouragement to do much of anything by anybody, showing faith in me. Man, that meant so much. That just meant gods to me. That he invested a whopping $80 for me to take the course, which to me at the time, it was 1982, seemed like the world. And my parents were really impressed. So yeah, I ended up working there until I was 23. Get in there. When I got back to the shop, there's a really useful skill. Our most common rims that we use were Mavic. You got the MA40s, the Open 4 CDs. Open 4 CD was my favorite. And then I discovered Ambrosio. And they had something called the Ambrosio Aero Durex. And I built, a couple dozen of those easily, a couple dozen pairs. And I still have a pair that I built way back when. I built them for a fellow employee named Bob. And he called me up about 4 or 5 years ago and said, I got these Ambrosios. Do you want them? I'm like, hell yeah. Matter of fact, here, let me show them to you. They're on a pair of Specialized hubs and the Elite Durex rims. These are cool, the Aero ones. And they all had a curved washer. So boy, the pre-stress on these wheels was amazing because you had to get those You got to get those washers to seat. This is what I use to hold onto the nipple and screw it in. No jokes, please. And then, therefore, it's easy to insert. What I did is I made this special screwdriver. I use it to drive the nipples in. I screw the nipples up to the top of the thread, and if I do that, if the spoke calculations are close or correct, it makes pull up a breeze. All right, well, I pull it up. Not horrible. This shouldn't be too tough. Hop isn't too bad either. Got a couple, but that's no big deal. Okay, guys, I have a question for you. I need your opinion. This is going to be an upcoming video, maybe the next week or two. And I'm going to change the hoods to the gum color. What color tape would you put on this thing? I'm going to make sure I have it ready to go. What color tape would you put on? And I'm also changing this crappy seat. So I'm thinking yellow. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. We have the frame. It's all cleaned up. If you saw part one, you'll see that. Check out part one. If you haven't, I'll link it below and at the end of the video. Turned out okay. You know, the paint is not the bestest that I've had. It's, you know, it's faded, a little blotchy, very blotchy. But you know what? I don't care. It's going to be pretty cool. I like to call it a good 5-footer. When you see it from 5 feet, it looks fine. So, but more than that, it's going to perform well. So I'm excited. Let's get this sucker up on the rack and get her built. We add a little bit of grease to the seat post clamp. Of course, we added some grease to the seat post as well. This is just temporary until we get it built and set the seat heights, just so we could clamp it onto the bike rack. So the bearings are already greased. We'll just drop them on. Fork actually turned out pretty good after a little bit of polish. This grease that I have on there is actually the old grease. I found out from the previous owner, who's a friend of mine, that's just been overhauled. So plenty of grease, plenty clean, which is rare for anything I do. I don't know if it's forced to habit or not, but we're going to start with the bottom bracket. Here we have our properly greased fixed cup going in. Now keep in mind this is Italian, and Italian has right-handed threads on the right-hand side. Smooth! And what you didn't see me do there was you didn't see me clean the threads earlier, even in the last video. So my apologies for not showing all the steps. This is not a how-to video. I had a friend claim that I was copping out a little bit, but not making, you know, a build video, a how-to video. In a way, he's kind of right. You know, when you put the video together, you're hanging yourself out to dry for every know-it-all to correct you on every little thing. And I don't mind being corrected, but you know, there's a time for that. All right, that is 4 grunts. That's pretty tight. So I have the other half of the bottom bracket sheath in there, and there's grease holding it in there. That'll meet with the other side, and oh, look at that. Oh, we're getting lucky, guys. Look how smooth that is. Well, believe it or not, I had 2 comments on this crappy old park spanner. It bounces well. Why don't I have better tools? That's a really good question, boys and girls. Maybe because I've been getting along so well with these, and I'm fine with them. You don't need a Campanile toolkit to work on a bike. This is every man's channel. Don't be offended by me saying it's every man's channel. The statistics in my channel are 98.7% male. That means the ladies don't want to watch, so hey ladies, if you're watching, leave a comment, will ya? Just let me know you're out there. You know, I have a thing for these Pantographed cranks. I think they're the coolest thing. I should say chain rings. It's just the chain rings that are Pantographed on this. Let me show you a couple examples. Now this one is a Nova Record crank, basic Nova Record or Super Record crank, if you will, with your Super Record rings that are pantoed. So let me show you a couple other examples. Now this is on my master. This is actually not Campagnolo. This is GPM. Help me with the pronunciation on that one, guys. GPM. Nice polished crank, almost to a mirror. It needs to be polished again, it looks like. And then over here, this one it's a basic Super Record, if you will, but look, it's grooved and it's drilled out or cut out and overly polished to a point where you could barely see the logo. So they're all pretty cool. I kind of like the one on this bike I'm working on now. See that? Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. I gotta tell you, these wheels turned out beautifully. You got your large flange hubs. You got your skewers with the skewer covers. I thought, I'm gonna keep those on. They're kind of cool, kind of vintage. Got the Fiamme rims that you just saw me pick up. They're looking good. So we're gonna dry mount some sew-ups on here a little bit later. Let's just mount the wheels now. We have our properly lubed corn cob. So when I say properly lubed, I mean butter, because there's a corn cob. Got some lube on the threads. This is a 6-speed, unlike the 5-speed we took off. We did respace the rear wheel. And it looks like we should be in good shape. Wow, look at that. Hey, when the hub is bigger than the corn cob, you know it's small, right? Looks like I have a spoke protector on it. Tell me that's not the prettiest brake ever made. I think it is. Now here in the cockpit, we have your triple T stem. This has a Chinelli bar. I just don't have the proper triple T bar for this thing. But that's how I got it, so I'm gonna put it back on. Come on, you haters. It's just a handlebar. Anyways, we're gonna put this thing on, And I usually take this sticky stuff off, but you know what? It's mildly sticky and it's very smooth. And since I'm gonna put sellotape on it, some Bonotto, you know, I think it's gonna work. And oh, by the way, thanks Mike from Boulder Bicycle. He got this out really quick for me. He was on holiday and he went and shipped it anyway, so big thanks to you. We have a little bit of lubricant on the wedge, a little bit on the stem. We'll tighten that up later when we get it on the ground. Hey, I want to thank a local viewer named Dan. He was nice enough to make me a couple signs. Cap and yellow, baby, check that out. You know, it's a couple feet long. That one's stainless steel, and this one here out of a thinner metal. I forgot what they call it. It's got the texture on it, and it's pretty neat. So we're gonna hang these up. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Well, welcome to upstairs of the bicycle garage. I don't bring you guys up here very often, but we are gonna put on the hoods onto these Super Record levers. And by the way, these things really turned out nice. They're pretty. Didn't need any work at all. Just a touch with a magic eraser and we're good. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. Now, if you guys have a better way, I wanna know in the comments section below. First, I recommend taking off the strap. Now there's gonna be a nut and a washer. Be careful not to lose that little washer. Okay, crank that water up. Make sure it gets nice and hot. Here we go. While the water's hot, throw those in. That'll soften them up just a little bit. There you go. Let them sit. Now, as you slide this into the hood, these edges are fairly sharp. Not that they're going to cut you, but they will grip the side of the hood. So you stretch them on there, but as you lower them down, you're going to have to like lift the rubber over those sharp parts. Now, I never used this brand before. It's some kind of Fleabay brand, and they look pretty pliable and pretty soft. And right off the bat, they're sliding on pretty well. But so I don't get caught on the hood, I'm kind of like, pushing. There we go. I'm just pushing it. These went on pretty simple, actually, pretty fairly simple. And then you stretch the top over. There you go. Now, I don't know. These don't look too bad. Once it's taped, it'll look better. Right, we're good to go. Ta-da! Well, now it's the moment of truth, guys. Gonna check out this tape. This tape is vintage. And just hope it's not so dried out that it, lost all its stretchiness. I'm assuming it's probably okay. And we'll see. Let's put it on and see how it works. Actually, it might be a better idea to put the brake levers on first before we tape. What do you think, guys? And as a standard for myself, I like there to be a fingertip right here before I tighten that up. One guy tried to give me a hard time and said that was wrong, that you had to have a flat edge and this should touch the end of the flat edge. The problem with that is I'm not comfortable that way. When it comes to fit, I think it's personal. I really do. I mean, you could say you should have these levers at a certain level, but if you're not comfortable there, don't do it. Okay, let's see how this stuff goes on. I'm going to start with a little stretch. Now, I've installed this stuff 2,000 times in my lifetime, if not more. Keep in mind, I worked at a shop, and I should know how it feels. And so far, it feels pretty right. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to snap on me. It feels like it's stretching a little bit. Not bad. I don't know how old this tape is, but it's got to be from the 80s or 90s. So, let's roll. Wow, looks like I cut it somewhat close here. Like really close. Oh boy. Maybe I could have done a better job up in here. But you know what? It works. We've got some of these Chinelli caps. I know that's from a different kind of wrap, but you know what? Pretty anyway. Pretty anyway. Well, it feels pretty good, guys. I like the way it looks. Turned out really well. Just had barely enough tape, and the rubber hoods look good. Well, guys, she's pretty. It's looking good. I'm excited. All right, I think what we got to do is do the chain next, put that on so we can string this thing up. Then pretty much we're done. So we have ourselves a Regina CX chain that's in actually pretty decent shape. Let's put that baby on the bike. So whenever you put a chain on and you put that link back together, most likely it's going to be stiff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chain and I'm going to move it back and forth this way. I'm going to bend that link and do it again gently. We're not going to go nuts here. Yeah, it loosens it right up. Now for pedals, what we have is a nice set of record pedals. I don't believe they're the titanium axle. You can usually tell by the hue of the metal. This is basically chrome. And not in bad shape. They cleaned up well. Some Chinelli toe clips. So let's put them on. Make sure you get a little bit of grease on the pedals first. You know, it's about 11 o'clock at night, and I really want to get this video out on Friday at like 3 o'clock. They say that's the prime time to put on a video, so that's my goal. So it's now Wednesday night. In order for me to get this thing done and in the can, I'm gonna have to work a little bit, work late. But you know what? I don't care. It's what I love doing. I'm in the garage, it's quiet. No one else around this time of year. Cars are not revving motors and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm all right with that. You know, I like stringing up a bike, but I never know how to make it look interesting. Yeah, looks about right. Okay guys, I'm gonna make you guys happy. I'm gonna run the cable over the bar, but it looks kind of flimsy here. We'll see once it's done. I might have to move it under. All right, we got her strung up. Look at this, guys, behind the bar. Aren't you excited? I'm growing as a human, according to some of you. Well, anyways, I have this strung up relatively loosely. Let's get the brake adjusted. I do have to lower the stand, and we'll get that properly adjusted. So first things first, let's get the correct shoe height. So this is a new cable, so we're gonna pre-stress it. We're gonna basically stretch it out by hitting it over and over again. Doink, 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 doink. And that definitely opened it up a little bit, which is what we wanted. All right, well, adjusted the brake. We want to make sure there's no free play going back and forth this way. And we want to make sure that it's not too tight, meaning that when you press the brakes, the calipers reopen. So I think we're in a good starting place. Let's tighten these two together. Seem to move freely, which is what we want. And there's no free play whatsoever in this direction. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Or that's exactly what we're looking for. So let's make sure she's snug. Some of you guys notice I'm breathing a little heavy. It's because I have a respiratory thing going. Now let's center the brake. This particular brake, there's a 13 millimeter slot behind here. And you just turn it till it's centered. Hit the brake, back and forth. And if it's still centered, good news. Tighten the back nut. Check it again. Looks like we're in good shape. You know, I forgot my third hand tool at home. So here I am holding the calipers by hand as I'm tightening them up. But that's okay. Minor inconvenience. And as a quick note, make sure the front of the brake shoes are touching before the back. That'll make sure you don't get any brake squeak or chatter. A buddy just said that there's a real cool car up in front. Let's check it out. Let's go. Oh, he wasn't kidding. Check it out. Oh, that is sharp. Look at this. Wow, look at the condition this car's in. I don't think I've ever seen one with the lights up. Got your 440 Magnum. Moon hubcaps. Wow, what a beautiful car. Dodge Daytona. Sweet. No shortage of cool cars around here. Also, if you're into that, check out the Hamilton collection on YouTube. You know what, guys? It's time to string up the derailleurs. But first of all, I think what I'm going to do, I have a suspicion that the rear derailleur hanger isn't straight. So let's quickly check that, and then we could finish stringing her up. If you want a detailed video on how to check your dropout alignment, or your derailleur hanger alignment, that is, I will put a link in the description section below. I did a video on that last year or the year before, something like that, and it would be much more clear. So you clamp the tool in, you look at the distance here, you mark it with this little thing, and then you move it to the other side. Take a measurement here, and it's way off. Look at the gap. So it looks like what we have to do is we have to bend the derailleur hanger that way. And we're going to do it ever so slightly, ever so gently. It doesn't have to move too far. So we will, it's like half the distance kind of thing. All right. I may have done it. All right, I think I got it. All right, we got this. It's touching here. Come to the other side. It's touching there. Perfect. Now we're going to go up and down. Well, it turns out up and down we're perfect. We're in perfect shape. We're touching here, and come down here, and we're touching here. It's perfect. So we're now square. I'm sure glad I checked the alignment, because that would have affected shifting. It was twisted enough to where it would have been an issue. So definitely glad I did it. Dope! You may have noticed my Mill Race Cyclery shirt. Now that's my local bike shop. I've been friends with the owner a long time. I'm just going to take this time to remind you to support your local shop. They need you, especially now. It's getting tough for them. And they run the local rides. They do all the services. And it's just not worth it to save $1 to go online for the inner tube or even your tires. Spend a few extra bucks. You'll be glad that they're around later. Now, don't forget to grease underneath your cable casing, especially that steel stuff that I'm using. It's very important you do that. So let's just tighten this up, and then we'll run through the gears. And it'll stretch the cable and seat the cable as well. Let's see how she rolls. Well, there she is, guys. I think it turned out wonderful. Love the way it all came out. Love the handlebar tape. It looks brand new. The big hubs look a little bit out of place, large flange hubs. But the drivetrain reminds me of the old catalogs I used to get when I worked at the bike shop. The Pantographed chain rings, the Super Derailleur, the gold and black chain, the corncob freewheel. It just reminds me of the old days. And the Tonelli seat, the Pantographed seat post, just looks sharp. I think it turned out great. Hey guys, it's late. I finally got this thing done. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I am so excited. There's a lot of new viewers. My last video went viral, and I picked up like 500 new subscribers from it. The name of the video is, can I put modern components on a vintage frame? And many of you thought that was, what's the word, sacrilegious. But you know, people want to do it. They love those old frames. So anyways, please like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I'll catch you next video. Now, coming up soon is some more reachable content. We're going to put a Raleigh on the rack. A pretty cool Raleigh. You saw it earlier when I was asking for tape color. I got that from a friend. We'll talk more about it in the next video. Anyways, have a great one. Happy trails.